by the corner light. Then the girls came with the long hair, high heels and the makeup never quite right.
This is another Music in a Different Kitchen. This morning we are joined by John Farrer of Murder the Disturbed.
Thank you very much, hello.
It's great to have you with us, John. I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but everybody that comes in, I like to go back to, say, like a pre-punk, and if you can give the audience like an idea of your life. You're coming from Washington, is that right?
Yeah, we all come from Washington. And we were always very interested in music. A group of friends, we always used to buy the sounds and the NME and find out what was in vogue and try to follow that. Really, we'd still like things like the Velvet Underground, Lou Reed. We'd like things like Black Sabbath, UFO, Judas Priest, whatever was kind of considered a little bit kind of David Bowie alternative, and also that inspired us, and we liked the sounds and the feel and the lyrics, because it was quite controversial and quite a way of sort of being a little bit different.
Like he was my baby. This is the kind of place where no one cares what you're living for, and just for so preoccupied, you don't care about being born. And that's why Jebbo's fly, Jebbo's gone, Jebbo's stole my baby. I'm flying around New York City so high, like he was my baby. My baby.
So we always used to follow that, and then suddenly, you know, in 76, 77, whenever it was, and those particular articles were full of the punk scene and the rock scene and all the different look, we thought, wow, wouldn't that be brilliant if we could be part of that here? But Washington was a little backwater, yeah, to a large extent still is, and the Northeast didn't have much of a scene at all. But basically what we made the decision that we'd try to recruit a few people if you had any kind of an instrument, amp or drum you were in. So, I mean, fortunately within our circles we found that people who all kind of trusted and were part of us, you know, an extended scene anyway, we found that we had an amp, an H&H amp, a guitar, a drum kit, and we all chipped in and bought an old bass guitar from a second-hand shop in Gateshead. Now everything went through the same amp. We used to go to a practice room where the amp would go down on a skateboard to an old church hall. The drums would arrive in a barra, and we'd set the little thing. We had 2 mics, a bass guitar, a guitar coming out of 1 amp, and the drum kit rattling on in the background. And we started off by doing a few covers, stuff that we like, you know, that 3-chord stuff from the Ramones and stuff like that, and eventually started to create our own songs and sounds, which were very, very naive. But I think sometimes looking at them now, when I listen to them, even 35, 36 years later, they can still make the hairs on the back of my neck stand up because of what they meant and because of what that period in time meant.
Determined what I'd be today. Now my mommy wears a frown, I think she like to put me down. I'm a frightful little monster, everybody knows. I chew bars of toilet soap and tear up all my clothes. Disgusting little beast. I can see inside your head. You're so glad your eyes aren't red. Your skin's so green, you're so relieved. You think I'm very strange indeed. I'm a frightful little monster, everybody knows. I chew bars of toilet soap and tear up all my clothes. Disgusting little
in the band, were you originally friends, or did you have to go
More or less, yeah.
look for people?
Yeah, Steve Zodiac, who had the amp and the guitar, and was the principal songwriter, I guess, at the time. You know, he was a kind of an associate of ours. He wasn't a friend who hung around with us, but he was somebody that was on the fringes of a bigger group. So we all fitted in really, really well, and we all wanted to do and achieve the same thing. Well, achieve, that's maybe the wrong word, but be part of something.
Mm.
Yeah.
Is it true you called Disturbed?
We were called the Disturbed originally because everybody had to have a name that started with the.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought, well, that was quite good because we were all kind of disturbed at the fact that it was happening, really, and we were actually doing it because we were all born idle, basically,
Right.
all on the dole. Not much interest in getting. It sounds like a total cliche, but we didn't really have an interest in getting a job. You could have got one at the time quite easily, but what was on offer didn't inspire us or didn't motivate us at all. We'd rather just be together and sharing the crack in our ideas. So anyway, after the first few gigs, you know, people would be throwing things. People would be waiting outside the centre to give us a good hiding, to smash our equipment up. So it became quite evident quite soon that people wanted to murder the Disturbed. So that we just thought, well, we might as well call ourselves Murder the Disturbed.
Very good.
Well, I know, I mean, you know, without thinking about it, probably offended quite a few people because it sounded as if we might want to murder people who were disturbed, but really the actual fact is people wanted to murder the Disturbed.
I think a lot of people miss irony, don't they? They certainly did then, I think they still do.
Yeah, I'm absolutely certain of that.
Soldiers on parade, they look straight ahead through electric eyes. They don't sleep at night and they never tell lies. There are strangers in my home. I'm a stranger on the run. You're all prisoners in this dome, and it's the end of all your fun. You're staring at me now. You're feeling quite afraid. My machines are closing in, and no one will be saved. You stiffen at the sound of the monotone talk, and you move with a corpse like mechanical walk. Entertainment stopped and turned on you. Victims of my dreams have come true. And there are strangers in the crowd, and the strangers are machines. There are strangers in my mind, and there are strangers in my dreams. They're staring at me now. I'm feeling quite afraid. Standing in my crowd, like clockwork soldiers on parade. They look straight ahead through electric eyes. They don't sleep at night and they never tell lies.
Newcastle Spectral Studios made a 4-track tape, is what it was in the time, and we just sent it off to a variety of addresses in the Sounds or whatever, and we got a good response back from Small Wonder Records in Walthamstow. We went down there and we made the single, and John Peel played it maybe 8-10 times on his
Right.
show.
Did he play all 3 tracks?
He played all 3 tracks at different stages, and I mean, I think it sold a few thousand copies, and it got to number 6 in the Sounds Alternative chart. But John Peel always used to say, and if you're listening, lads, why don't you think about changing the name? You know, because people might misinterpret that, misinterpret the meaning. I don't suppose for 1 second we even thought about changing it, because that's the way that it evolved.
It's true that Small Wonder didn't touch the demo, did they? They actually
No, they just
recorded
it as it was. The guy we went to see said that he said we could bring you into the studio and do them all again and put our own, but he said I think we would lose a lot of what the feeling is. To me, is why I'm interested in having you on our label, is the feeling that's produced there. So I mean, one of the drummer at the time, Foster, he had to go with his dad because he wasn't old enough to sign the deal.
Right.
So his dad had to come down on the train with us, which wasn't very rock and roll. You know.
Yeah.
So we were all a bit young and a bit naive, but we're just happy. We just had to keep pinching ourselves to believe that somebody was interested enough in what we were doing.
recording at the Spectral, what were your experiences of that? Because
well, it was our first ever experience of recording. We had nothing to compare it with,
right.
so we just went in there totally naive.
So you let them.
We kind of let ourselves be led, I think, by
Yeah.
Tim, the guy who done it. But we enjoyed it, and he was quite happy to accommodate all our different ideas with effects and stuff like that. Stuff that would you know, that we could only dream of. And we were actually quite amazed that there was somewhere down a back alley in Newcastle that could do this. You know, and I can't remember how. I think we paid something like 20 quid between us to go in and do that. And there was a few people hanging around. People wanted to come in and be part of it. You know, like there was a couple of people from the MPs,
Right.
Our original drummer Tommy, one or two other people from different bands were kind of dropping in, and it really did feel like a scene, and that we'd arrived.
Yeah.
We were actually part of something that was, even it was invisible on Northumberland Street,
Yeah.
it was still there.
I mean, looking back at the Spectral, I thought it was one of the places which you could call a collective.
Yeah, very much so. It was like the heartbeat.
Yeah, and this was probably around 79, 80 or
Yeah.
something, where people were
Certainly late
beginning to
70s.
gather. Did you know Rob Meek at all? Because a few of the bands that I've interviewed have mentioned Rob as some kind of godfather, really.
I remember the name. I don't know whether I'd know him if you stand there.
Right.
I don't necessarily have any kind of memories of him, but I certainly it's a name that I'm familiar with.
Yeah. I mean, going back to John Peel as well, the fact that he did play the EP, all 3 tracks, a number of times.
Well, there was 4 tracks on that EP. Well, we produced 4 tracks originally,
right.
but Small Wonder only decided that they wanted to have 3. They decided to leave the song Weirdo off because they thought it might be a little bit offensive. Now, Weirdo makes an appearance on our new CD.
Yeah.
It's a very, very short, quick song, but Small Wonder didn't want to put Weirdo onto the EP. Now, I don't know what John Peel would have said of it, I don't know. He may have liked it, he may not, but it didn't. We recorded 4 tracks and Small Wonder went with 3.
Right. I just wondered whether John Peel ever invited you to do a session.
No.
He didn't?
No.
Oh, that's a shame.
It is a shame, because, well, obviously we'd have had to find the train fare, etc. to get down there, but it would have been brilliant to do. But I mean, at the time we probably only had about 12, 15 original songs and, you know, a handful of covers. I don't know, I mean, if you just wanted half an hour, that would have been great. But no, we never got that call.
changing and they think I'd better pull myself together. 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 Pull myself together. You think I'm something special, but I'm really just a sham. I am a weirdo. I am a weirdo. A weirdo. I am a weirdo. So many normal people, so many normal things. You'll find them all on Facebook. It's time for us to sing, bring back the weirdos. Where are the weirdos? Give me weirdos. Give me bloody weirdos.
It still has a fairly unique kind of feeling to it. When it first starts, I think, whoa, well, you know, small wonder we're actually interested in that, because it does sound almost as if somebody set a little tape recorder away in a bedroom, but that's what they said they liked about it. And it does have a fairly unique feel.
Yeah. I think people forget that. They go for this digitally enhanced kind of sound, you know, it's got to sort of sound really polished
and very, very produced.
Yeah, and sometimes you lose the feel of what the song was meant to be, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And the songs were trying to portray ourselves and our kind of way of being as a little bit unorthodox and possibly slightly not mad, but controversial, shall we say, with no problems about being happy to be born idle, happy to be not satisfied, and happy to sort of be proud of that.
With each and every offer on the public display, strange people, they laugh and they play, they suffer every second of each passing day. ghosts of the sad and the strange.
Incredible label at the
Oh,
time,
aye,
wasn't it?
absolutely.
I mean, the people that had released stuff on there.
Yeah, they had quite a few. And there was another group from the northeast as well, Punishment and Luxury.
Yeah.
I mean, at the time, there wasn't much of a scene. There was Punishment, Luxury, the Proles, Angelic Upstarts, ourselves, one or two other little bits of things, but, you know, there wasn't really that much of a scene in the northeast. And it was also a dangerous place to be, because the chances are if you went through the town on a Saturday night in anything that looked like you might be a bit different and want to challenge the norm by what people did, dye the hair, put sugar on it, wear tartan trousers, loads of badges, whatever image people wanted to project of themselves, you know, you're always going to get the disco boy who had like a belt, looked like a haversack strap that used to dangle down to the knee, and like a flicked haircut and a smart little shirt. To think, you know, why are people interested in them? Why are people giving them attention? I know, let's beat them up.
Yeah.
So, you know, the amount of time we're getting chased, there's some places were just no-go zones. You know, so when people talk about the punk scene in Newcastle, there wasn't much of a one.
No.
And if there was, it was very much, you know, behind the bushes.
Yeah. Do you find that it was possibly just the odd few people coming into town from, I would say, such as yourselves, coming in from Washington? There'll have been people coming in from the coast.
Durham, Chesley Street.
Just meeting at record shops and obviously for the gigs.
Yeah, absolutely. And most of the gigs at the time were probably City Hall, which was probably a little bit mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they had all the door staff and they had all the systems in place to make it like mainstream with a hint of alternative. You know, so you know you'd gather in the bar downstairs. There was the dilemma: would you go to see the Support because they might be all right? They're not going to be as mainstream as the main act. And there was the Guildhall. They had done quite a few things. There was one or two little places like there's a place at Gosforth, the Gosforth Hotel, the King's Head, which was near where the Central Life is now. There was a few other little bars and one or two in Gateshead.
Oh
coming from Washington, would you venture into Newcastle?
Yeah, we'd go into Newcastle as often as we could, and because none of us had or wanted any work, often midweek, sort of Thursdays or Fridays was a good time to hang around. We used to love to go to places like the Handyside Arcade, where there was one or two shops in there where you used to sell loads of different stuff, badges and stuff. We used to love to go to Listen Here, which was a little corner shop, a record shop up near the City Hall. Now people always used to go there for the punk singles, and in actual fact, if I'm not mistaken, that's where the Viz first came out of, which was a kind of a punk in itself, really, you know, a comic. So yeah, we tried to get there as much as possible, but obviously it depended. We used to like to go to gigs in Newcastle, like to the Gosforth Hotel, the King's Head, the Mayfair, but it all depended on whether you had the money for the bus fare, the money to get in, the money for a couple of drinks or whatever, you know. And we used to also like to buy, if there was a gig, if somebody was selling t-shirts or badges or whatever, we always used to like to be part of that as well. So it wasn't always easy. And sometimes we used to go down to the Rock Garden as well, in Middlesbrough, if we could find somebody who had a car.
That was a very intimidating place.
It was a very, very intimidating place. We used to pile about 8 or 9 of us into like an old Ford Cortina or whatever, and we used to get down there, set away in the afternoon, because chances are the car would conk out. And if you got there was no guarantee you were going to get home. So we'd get there and park up there and just start drinking beer, even whoever was driving, and then you'd pile across to the gig. We saw some good ones there, some really good, but it was, you know, because you weren't from Middlesbrough, and it was on the outskirts of Middlesbrough, which was quite intimidating, quite a sketchy area anyway.
I think a lot of people that used to go in were locals, weren't they? That weren't interested in the music, they would just sort of
see what the crack was, see if they could get themselves involved in a scuffle or a bit of confrontation. That was their entertainment. For a lot of us, it was to go to watch the bands and to see what they had to say and do. But for a lot of the others, particularly the locals, I think, well, you know, there's no else happening, we'll get ourselves tanked up and pick on a few kids. Particularly, I mean, that used to happen in Newcastle as well. People used to go student bashing, punk bashing. You know, that was entertainment. Sadly.
I think some people do forget, late 70s, early 80s, was like an emergence of skinheads.
Oh, absolutely.
And I remember Saturday afternoons, I don't know if they called them the Sham Army or whatever, wherever they came from. There used to be in excess of like 40 of them. And I mean, a skinhead looks intimidating to start with.
Absolutely.
And to see 40 of them come down Ridley Place.
You knew what they were there for.
I've seen them pile into Listen Here, put it that way. Smash people's heads off the walls, rip the records off the walls.
People forget about that when they romanticise about you know, the late 70s and the kind of alternative movements. I think a lot of people forget about that. That it was a fragile place to be, and you needed quite a bit of confidence to be able to sort of drive yourself through it and come out the other end, really, and for it to still be interested and to sort of you know, to flush those sort of darker memories to the back of your mind. You've got to be quite strong, really.
But I think sometimes it's why it makes it all the more special, because of what you had to go through. You know, you did live it.
You really had to. You really did have to be. You know, you had to believe. You had to be part of it, and you had to be prepared to take the consequences. Really, whether it was being alienated by some of your friends from an earlier era, by, you know, people have been, you know, people's parents really hated it, you know. They didn't want their son or daughter to be the standout person in the street who everybody scratched their heads.
What the neighbours are talking about.
What the neighbours are talking about, That wasn't easy either. So you had to be quite strong, really. And I think you had to have a little element of sort of confidence, a little bit of arrogance, and a little bit of being blasé, I guess. But it was an interesting time, and I think I'm quite glad that, even though it was pretty much as on the fringes in comparison to sort of other places like London and others, even though it was only a kind of small town, small fry. I'm quite glad. I think it's probably helped to make me the person I am today, whatever that might be.
No.
And I'm sure the others would agree. But it's been an integral part of our past that's made us what we are today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that I've got that to sort of look back on and to sort of is part of my foundations as a person.
So you can wear a Ramones t-shirt and understand what it's all about. Unlike...
If I could get one to fit us, I
They
probably
normally
would.
come in small sizes, don't they? To fit
They
the
do,
kids.
they just come in, they don't come in L. I'm afraid.
Destroy, destroy, voice on the radio, murder in the shadows. Destroy, destroy, voice on the radio, murder in the shadows. Captain Zero stole my mind with some strange machine. Stole my thoughts and gallows, left me dry and clean. Destroy, destroy, blood on the corridor, media horrible. Destroy, destroy, blood on the corridor, media horrible.
Hey, you must be out of your time now.
Hot, air, sexual, places
We are the masters of our fate.
Murder, murder, voice on the radio, pictures on the video. Murder, murder, voice on the radio, pictures on the video. Captain Zero solved the crime, arriving in the nick of time. Flies like bird in city skies, takes the villain by surprise. Murder, murder, see a body in the snow, pictures on the video. Murder, murder, see a body in the snow, pictures on the video.
If a person consistently reads and advocates the views expressed in communist publications, he may be a communist.
Destroy, destroy, voice on the radio, murder in the shadows. Destroy, destroy, blood on the corridor, media horrible. Murder, murder, voice on the radio, pictures on the video. Murder, murder, see a body in the snow, pictures on the video.
Nice beautiful baby, yeah.
Eat it up quickly and don't tell anyone I've been in to see you.
You alienate society, but face the facts. Why not admit it? I'm gonna be outraged when the mother won't allow it. I'm an upstart. Hey, what are you gonna do? I'm an upstart. Listen, I'm going to you. I'm an upstart. Hey, what are you gonna do? I'm an upstart. Listen, I'm going to you. I'm an upstart. Hey, what are you gonna do? I'm an upstart. Listen, I'm You alienate society. Face the fact. Why not admit it? I'm gonna be a rich when I'm gonna allow it. I'm an upstart. Hey! What are you gonna do? I'm an upstart. Listen! I'm dying to you. I'm an upstart. Hey! What are you gonna do? I'm an upstart. Listen! I'm dying to you. I'm an upstart. Hey! What are you gonna do? I'm an upstart. Listen! I'm dying to you. I'm an upstart. Hey! What are you gonna do? I'm an upstart. Listen! I'm dying to you.
If we can go back to possibly 77, 78, and I think you're rehearsing in Newcastle. Would that be right in 77, or would this be 78 above hairdressers?
Yeah, it would probably be 70, it might even be 79. It was a place on the West Road, and it was a flat that was used by a friend of ours who used to play in a group called the MPs. Now the MPs used to do quite a few gigs with us, and so occasionally we would just get together and share a bit of space, do a bit of stuff, and hang out there quite a bit as well, because it was in Newcastle. We could hang out there, go to one or two gigs, and then it was just more or less just a walk up to the West Road, and we didn't have to go home. We could buy 2 hot dogs rather than spend the money on a taxi and go home, you know, or tins of beer or whatever it was at the time.
I mean, I know there was a few bands rehearsed there. I just wondered whether you'd formed any kind of little group, you know, like...
Not really. I mean, I would say it was a safe house. That's probably what I would call it, where you could go and kind of be yourself. It was somewhere that it wasn't. It was on the outskirts as opposed to sort of central. So we could kind of drift up to there and just sort of reflect on the day, the night, what next, and you know where was going to be our next gig, what new songs we were interested in doing. I don't think we ever compared ourselves very much to scenes in London, Manchester, New York or whatever, because there was no point in that. The Northeast always was and always will be very, very different, but we wanted to have our own little slice of it, where we were, without having to move to another part of the country.
So were you finding it a bit of a struggle to
Yeah,
get gigs and things?
I think it was a little bit of a struggle because not everybody was interested in putting on bands that were doing their own material, for example. I think you had a better chance if you were doing covers, because most people could relate to them and could sing along and they knew exactly what they were getting. But when you were doing your own material, and like I say, there was probably only Punishment, Luxury, ourselves, the Proles and the Upstarts. I mean, that's not many for the Northeast doing their own material. So it was a little bit of a struggle, but it was the one that we were prepared to embrace because we knew exactly what we were getting into, and we're happy to go along with it.
So where were Murder the Disturbed playing in 1977?
Probably just around youth clubs and stuff like that, in community centres, just anywhere where people would have the courage to say yes, you can play. In order just to, I mean, we always played to a full house because I think of the curiosity element.
I was just going to ask, like, were a lot of people that were attending just curious because
absolutely curious.
There wasn't a massive punk audience, was there really?
And it was even more curious to the fact that we were playing, 95% our own material. So it was stuff they hadn't heard before, and they were coming along for the spectacle, I guess, because we always try to make it as entertaining as possible. But it always went down. We always got good feedback till it got the time to leave the building, and there'd always be people hurling abuse or bottles or challenging us. In whatever form.
It is something hard to explain to anybody now, but like Newcastle, the North East in general, in the late 70s, I mean, I always say it was pretty backward. It was certainly
very much
years behind London, and so you didn't have to do a great deal with your dress sense to shock people. I mean, I certainly remember it was a case of a few badges, spiky hair a little bit, if you had drain pipe trousers, because a lot of people were still wearing the
baggies, the Oxford bags and all that,
it was all denim.
Very
much into status quo.
Sergeant Peppers, it's where you got your stuff. I think it was. I mean, I'm quite glad that Newcastle was and still is very, very different to London. I just wish that there was a bit more acceptance from people, and I think there is now, to be a little bit different. But there was no kind of champion in it at all. There wasn't a kind of a play. Although there was the Mayfair occasionally, where you'd get a good gathering. But I've been there as well, where people have been thrown over balconies, where the whole place has just gone up, because somebody was trying to project a different message or a different way of being or thinking. So it was quite a fragile but exciting environment to occupy at the time.
Personality, normal, plastic personality. False is not superior, it's tired and it's weak. So try to live like normal and unique. Plastic this and plastic that, plastic's just a phase. So try to live like normal, you are on your place. I don't know what's going wrong with normal, plastic personality, normal, plastic personality. Let me tell you something, I'm sure you'll be amazed. Norma's not like Norman, she hasn't been for days. No plastic tips or plastic bits or plastic fingernails. No plastic hair extensions and the disguise must never fail. I don't know what's going on with normal, plastic personality, normal, plastic personality. She's living in a cage. She has no rights, so someone says she's living on the floor. Her plastic's all not melted, she's not normal anymore. I don't know what's going on with normal, plastic personality, normal, plastic personality, normal, plastic personality, normal, plastic personality, normal, plastic personality.
If she were my child, I'd give her a good hard smack.
Everybody's gotta have a uniform. My new one, the oldest one. Everybody's gotta have a uniform. My new one, the oldest one. Everybody's gotta have a uniform. New boots up or inside a crowd. I cracked up and I ain't proud. Easier to spend life on your knees. Easier to bend with the breeze. My new one, the oldest one. Everybody's gotta have a uniform. My new one, the oldest one. Everybody's gotta have a uniform. Maybe everybody puts the same as me. Some think you're any little mystery. Forget me, please don't ignore. Oh no, don't say I'm a bore. My new one, the oldest one. Everybody's gotta have a uniform. My new one, the oldest one. Everybody's gotta have a uniform. My new one, the oldest one. Everybody's gotta have a uniform. My new one, the oldest one. Everybody's gotta have a uniform. My new one, the oldest one. Everybody's gotta have a uniform. My new one, the oldest one. Everybody's gotta have a uniform.
We spoke about Newcastle, we spoke about Middlesbrough Rock Garden. Not many people speak about Sunderland, and that's surprising because coming from Washington, you were quite close to Sunderland. Did you have any sort of connections with Sunderland?
Not in those days. I mean, you know, I know Washington is being kind of enveloped as part of Sunderland now, but where in the area of Washington I lived, it was 7 mile to Sunderland, 7 mile to Newcastle. But if the town to me always meant Newcastle, somebody along the street, the town could mean Sunderland. It just depends where you were, where your friends were, and I guess if you followed the footy, if you were a Newcastle fan, that would, and also, you know, it was as simple as that, really.
So Murder the Disturbed, they wouldn't have played.
Oh yeah, of course they would have played in
the old 29.
I would have loved to have played the old 29.
Right.
That was a brilliant venue, and we used to sometimes go along there in the early 80s to watch the Toy Dolls and other groups like that. I used to love it. And if the Disturbed had been asked, of course we would have played. It just was one of them things just that didn't happen. We didn't actively engineer a spot to do that. We didn't pursue venues in Sunderland for no other reason that we thought that we had a better chance in Newcastle because there was more. But you know, we didn't not play in Sunderland because we didn't want to.
Songs. Did they come from you as an individual or collective?
Oh, well, I think it was predominantly Steve used to come up with the idea, and more often than not we'd all just sort of sit in his bedroom and build the stuff around it. And the stuff on the album, there's probably quite a bit of changes to what the original idea was. There's 2 or 3 of them that Steve didn't have anything to do with at all, really. And the ones that he wrote, I mean, there's probably about 6 of them as they were presented on a Monday night in his bedroom. Another 4 or 5 that's been modified slightly, and 2 or 3 that he didn't really have anything to do with. But they were all inspired by what I said earlier about just trying to be ourselves and not being bothered about being labelled as born idle, different, confrontational, dissatisfied. And they were all a little bit about that. And Steve had 1 or 2 issues that were personal to him at the time that he wasn't frightened of projecting through those songs as well.
waiting for his next review. Brain damage. I've got brain damage. My mind's brain damaged. I've got brain damage. Brain damage. I've got brain damage. My mind's brain damaged. I've got brain damage. My mind, it aches, it has no honest intention. A slice of no future with a lack of ambition. Like a gargoyle perched with no chance of a name. Like a corkscrew screaming through the wreck of my brain. Brain damage. I've got brain damage. My mind's brain damaged. I've got brain damage. Brain damage. I've got brain damage. My mind's brain damaged. I've got brain damage. My mind, it shakes like the door of my prison. Because my vision, it's in collision. Like a man on a mission. And his mission and his position leads him to his decision. And that decision comes back to lift him to his mindless position. Like an insect trapped in a spider's web. Like a life support victim wishing he was dead. Brain damage. Got brain damage. Brain damage. Brain damage. Brain damage. Got brain damage. Brain damage. Brain damage. Brain damage. Brain damage.
I mean, going back to the Small Wonder deal, did Small Wonder just offer sort of one single deals? Is that how it was?
Well, I think they were kind of coming towards picking a second single. At that time, Steve, who was the guitarist and principal songwriter, had decided that it wasn't moving fast enough for him. And he decided that, like a lot of sort of people do, particularly predominantly writers, he decided that he wanted to stop and take some time out and think about where he wanted to go. So at the time we thought, right, well, we've got a good deal here, we don't want to let it go. So we brought in Chris Gibbon, who's the guitarist now, and we tried to keep it going with him. We brought in Adam as well on drums. But we weren't old enough at the time really to kind of make those dramatic changes, so it kind of just fizzled out. But you know, about 4 or 5 years ago, and we kind of thought we'd get this back together, they seemed to be the natural people to bring in to sort of pick it up where it had left off. We asked Steve would he be interested, but after coming along to 1 or 2 rehearsals, he obviously realised that leaving at the time was the right thing for him to do, and you know, he's doing different things now.
So once Murder the Disturbed, did it, like you said, it just fizzled out as such?
Well, it was mothballed. It never died.
Yeah,
it was just mothballed for a period of 30 years or so, and then we blew the cobwebs off it and dusted it down and brought it back out.
Terrified the patients as they climbed into their beds. Walked the walks of midnight as a man without a head. Read the daily paper as he rotted in his grave. Never changed his underwear and never had to shave. Was it you? 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 Nurses by walking through the wall, who died alone at midnight cause no one heard him call, who took revenge on those who said it was a shame, took revenge on those who wouldn't take the blame. Was it you? 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 As they climbed into their beds, walked the walks of midnight as a man without a head, read the daily paper as he rotted in his grave, never changed his underwear and never had to shave. Was it you? 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 Was it you?
Now, where we're trying to not necessarily relive that, but just keep it going because it's part of who we are. We're not kind of have a midlife crisis and trying to, you know, resurrect our youth. You know, get a big motorbike or take up golf or whatever. But we've worked out that it's part of who we are, and there's no reason why we shouldn't keep it going, even though it's 30 odd years down the line. And we're all different people with a different sort of set of, or a more exaggerated set of values and perceptions. But you know, we all agree that there's no harm in keeping it going. And hopefully, maybe hook some younger people in, and let them see that, you know, there is a different way to be. You don't have to follow the mainstream.
I mean, I know you played a gig at the Star and Shadow in Newcastle last week.
Yeah.
Did you find there was a new audience there?
Well, it was a little bit of a mixed thing because one of the acts that were meant to be on pulled out last minute because of an injury to someone, and someone had to do a different... I don't remember, I didn't really listen to the reasons why they pulled out, but they were a younger group, and I think they would have probably brought a lot of support with them.
Right.
We were able to get it probably, I don't know, there may have been about 40, 50 paying guests, and I think they all enjoyed it.
Right.
For a lot of, I would think probably might have been 2 or 3 people who'd seen us there before, way back when. But we enjoyed it. We sold about 7 or 8 CDs.
Right.
And I think, you know, there was a positive response from the audience.
So it's encouraging you.
It is encouraging, yeah. Yeah. Encouraging us to do a little bit more.
I don't love you for your graveyard eyes. I don't love you for your shaven thighs. I just love you for that beat, 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 beating. I don't love you for your tattooed tie. I don't love you and I don't know why. I just love you for that beat, 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 beating. I've got a safety pin stuck in my heart. For you, for you. I've got a safety pin stuck in my heart. For you, for you. Don't love you for your professed hate. I don't love you for your cards of fate. I just love you for that beat, 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 beating. I don't love you for your painted shoes. I don't love you for your friends you never choose. I just love you for that beat, 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 beating. I've got a safety pin stuck in my heart. For you, for you. I've got a safety pin stuck in my heart. For you, for you. I've got a safety pin stuck in my heart. For you, for you. I've got a safety pin stuck in my heart. For you, for you. I don't love you for your many reasons. Propaganda, doctrines, treasons. All I know's that beat, 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 beating. I've got an ear inflamed on my dog chain. Painted faces, painted names. My shirt, it's all that beat, 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 beating. I've got a safety pin stuck in my heart. For you, for you. I've got a safety pin stuck in my heart. For you, for you. I've got a safety pin stuck in my heart. For you, for you. I got a safety pin stuck in my heart. For you, 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 for you. I got a safety pin stuck in my heart. For you, for you, for you, for you, for you. I got a safety pin stuck in my heart. For you.
how often are you playing? No?
I think we got together initially to produce the CD that we never did, the album that we never did in the 70s. And once we'd done that, we thought, well, why don't we try a few gigs? We've probably done about 6 over the last 2 years. And we'll probably do another couple this year. We're not we don't have the kind of lifestyle where we could be gigging every week, because everybody's situations change. You know, some of us have got work, some of us have got families, and other levels of responsibility. But we'll rehearse at least 2 or 3 times a month, and we probably would do, I don't know, 4 or 5 gigs a year, I would say. And we're looking to do some more recording as well, to produce a second album or some new stuff in the pipeline.
Will this all be self-financed?
Oh yes,
right.
Unless we can find somebody to back it, of course.
There's an offer.
Yeah. It wouldn't take a lot.
Mm.
You know, I mean, it was self-financed the last time, and it didn't take a lot to produce. Well, we're really quite proud of it, because we've been able to hold on to the feeling that we had back then, but do it with a more sort of educated, mature way.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think Murder the Disturbed, even what you see now, it's not a stereotypical punk band.
No.
So I think it does age a lot better. Mm-hmm. And seeing you now, it doesn't look out of time, if you know what I mean. Where I think some punk does look a little bit, it either looks out of time or it looks, can't think of the word, but like maybe it's a little bit of a parody of itself. I don't know.
A bit false.
Yeah, contrived maybe. Yeah. But Murder the Disturbed definitely come across as, it's like if I can say this, like a post-punk kind of feel, you know. Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a lot of people said that it's kind of been inspired by that kind of time, that era, and that kind of set of thoughts and values and principles, really, that way of thinking, and it's manifested itself into something that wasn't quite spiky hair, tattoos, guitars dangling on the knees, and oi oi oi. It's a little bit more than that.
I've got a broken toy to sell. Here, have a look at it.
Oh, the poor thing.
Don't be sorry for him. If you wind him up, he can sing and dance.
Double helix DNA determined what I'd be today. Now my mummy wears a frown, I think she'd like to put me down. I'm a frightful little monster, everybody knows. I chew bars of toilet soap and tear off all my clothes. we are totally insane. The situation we've invented's really such a strain. Mother dear, we're somewhat disturbed. Mother dear, we're suffering mental decay. Mother dear, we're somewhat disturbed, but nonetheless I guess we might just slip away today. I should be in a hospital, I wandered through the streets. I stumbled down dark alleyways with nothing on my feet. Mother dear, I'm somewhat disturbed. Mother dear, I'm suffering mental decay. Mother dear, I'm somewhat disturbed, but nonetheless I guess I might just slip away today. I'm not prepared to talk to you, you do not understand peculiar things that I might do, strange gestures with my hands. Mother dear, I'm somewhat disturbed. Mother dear, I'm suffering mental decay. Mother dear, I'm somewhat disturbed, but nonetheless I guess I might just slip away today. Said I'm dying, but the product has to sell. The actresses are lying, but they do it very well. Mother dear, they're somewhat disturbed. Mother dear, they're suffering mental decay. Mother dear, they're somewhat disturbed, but nonetheless I guess they might just slip away today. Mother dear, Mother dear, Mother dear, Mother
You know, when you see what young people are fed now through Britain's Got Talent and you know, The Voice and all those other kinds of shows, shall we call them, it's not hard to imagine why young people aren't that interested in you know, broadening out and going to see new bands that they haven't heard of, or listening to them even.
Yeah.
They want to know exactly what they're getting for the big bucks.
Mm. I mean, you'll probably find it as difficult now as then, because we seem to have reverted back to how it was then. You're mentioning about expecting covers, and I think it's the same now. It's the age of the tribute act, isn't it?
It is the total age of the tribute act, and people are making an awful lot of money out of it. But the fact is, I think because obviously we're more mature people and we know exactly what to expect, we're not as deluded or as impressionable or as I don't know what manipulative or naive as we were then. I think we know, and I think we're stronger people, and we're a little bit more determined and realistic with what we're going to achieve. We know we're not going to be, you know, signed up by Virgin or somebody's going to buy us out a small one, which at the time we hoped that would happen, kind of deep down without even speaking about it. But now we know that all we're doing is a bunch of blokes that are interested in that music and want to keep it going, if not just for ourselves, for anybody else who's interested, and to try to, you know, keep that kind of period of time alive.
The blood generation, and I can take it or leave it each time. Well, I belong to the generation, but I can take it or leave it each time. I belong to the blank generation, and I can take it or leave it each time. Well, I belong to the generation, but I can take it or leave it each time.
You're messing around, you're wasting my time. You're putting me down, but I feel just fine. I saw you last week with a creep from the street. Ugly, ugly was a dear freak, yeah. He's a loser, just a loser. Another loser, he's a loser. You're messing around, you're wasting my time. I pulled out the knife and the wounds it are mine. I took it by storm as I took it by night. Down the beach at midnight in the car parking lights, yeah. We're the loser, another loser, just a loser. Here's a loser. Messing around, you're wasting my time. Putting me down, but I feel just fine. I saw you last week with a creep from the street. Ugly, ugly was a dear freak, yeah. Loser, 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 loser. You're all a waste of my time, and you're no friends of mine. Your disaster of a mind is a hideous crime. I took you to Ward 7 where they stood you in line, back to back with inmates of a similar time, yeah. Loser, 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 loser. I live on the outskirts of life as you know it. Sometimes it hurts, but I never show it. I live in the future, I dwell on the past. I'm feeling productive, but that will not last. What are you doing while this takes place? Biting your nails or painting your face? Doing what you always do, burning up, breaking down and talking rubbish. You're talking rubbish. You're talking rubbish. You're talking rubbish. A little emotion, pity's a crime. I sit in bright subways, wasting my time. My friends are the vandals who work in the dark. We murdered the children as they played in the park. What are you doing while this takes place? Biting your nails or painting doing while this takes place? While I'm drowning in the depths of inner space. You're doing what you always do, burning up, breaking down and talking rubbish. You're talking rubbish. Talking rubbish. You're talking rubbish. My doctor is planning a hasty escape. Some actors are staging a street corner rape. The pilots are walking in search of a friend. The world has no future. This is its end.
So, Murder the Disturbed, 2014. You've got another couple of gigs planned.
Yeah, we've got one in the Black Ball in Gateshead on the 20th of July. We've got one or two other possibilities in the pipeline, and hopefully by then we'll be able to sort of share that with whoever's there and put it on our Facebook page, etc. You know, as I say, we're not really in a position to be able to be playing every week. I think that would become too much of a challenge, really, for ourselves and for people listening. But we've got enough energy and enough about us to sort of keep it interesting and keep it going, really.
Have you got emerging new songs?
We've got
obviously you said
we've got
a new album.
We've got 4 songs recorded that are just sort of demo sort of quality, and we've got another 3 or 4 already. And hopefully by the time we get to sort of a dozen, we can put a new CD out. And hopefully that might happen by the beginning of next year.
So what can people expect from a Murder the Disturbed album 2014?
Well,
Or
I
15,
don't know whether many people have got any expectations of Murder the Disturbed other than the 4 of us ourselves. But what we are hoping to achieve is to be able to, you know, conclude this year with another 2 or 3 gigs. Maybe by spring next year, have another CD ready to promote, and then go ahead and do the promotion of that accordingly.
Are you looking beyond the northeast, or are you quite happy just to gig locally?
I think there's got to be a spot somewhere for us. You know, there's like the Blackpool Punk Festival, 1 or 2 other bits of things, and I don't suppose it would do us any harm. You know, just to sort of do 40 minutes, 45. It just depends. Just to play the CD and some tracks from our new one.
Yeah.
I'm sure people would enjoy it. We certainly would.
Brilliant stuff. John Farrer, Murder the Disturbed. Thanks for being with us this morning.
Thanks for your time.
The best of luck for the
Thanks
future.
very much.
In my capsule of plastic,